Okay, hi, how are you guys? So today we are going to be talking about making worksheets. So we are going to go ahead and jump into the video and I will see you guys in just a Hi, my name is Amanda from Learning to Love Well. If you are new to this channel, this is a channel all about homeschool from a biblical worldview. We talk about everything from the practical, which is definitely what we're talking about today, to encouragement, biblical encouragement, to a whole host of topics that entails pretty much all things homeschool from a biblical worldview. So today we are going to talk about, and actually I'm going to flip you onto my computer in just a little bit because I am going to share my screen with you guys and show you how you can make your own supplements for free. The only thing you have to pay for is you printing them out. The reason why I want to share this with you is because homeschool sometimes means that we are choosing to do it, we're doing all of this on our own dime and our own costs unless you have scholarships and stuff through your state. But a lot of states don't have that. And so because of that, I want to show you how if your curriculum doesn't check all the boxes for you and you are like, listen, I would really like to have a multiplication worksheet. I'd like to have a speed reader. I'd like to have insert need here. I would like to show you how to make what you need for your children. Okay, so I told you I was going to help you learn how to, sorry, my timer just went off. How to make worksheets for your family. So in front of you, you can see that this is a worksheet I was working on today. And excuse my messy handwriting, I don't have an iPad, so I was having to do it with just my mouse. But I want to give you some examples of some of the worksheets that I have made over the years to supplement for my children's learning. So right now, this is what I'm currently working on, are just some kind of easy sound out words and words that my child will commonly use in homeschool. So this is one of the things that I will be working on, and I will follow back into this worksheet in just a minute. This is another thing that I worked on today, which is a parts of speech to remember. Lines that I just put together like a giant chart, and I have extra space to fill in any other parts of speech as they get a little bit more advanced. So we have nouns, we have verbs, pronouns, adjectives, adverbs, conjunctions, prepositions, interjections, articles, some examples of each, and definitions. I did this as a reference page for my children, that while they're working on their homework, if they forget any of this, they can go back to their reference sheet so that they can quickly look up the definition to help their memory recall in that area. In addition to that, over the years, I made, actually this will make more sense in just a second. So I had made a multiplication sheet because this was something that did not come with my math curriculum, not in this format anyway. And so I made a times table sheet that covered all the zeros all the way to 12s. We did this when we were in school. I was so grateful that I actually learned my times tables and was timed on how quickly I could do them because I got very proficient at them. And so this is something that I made. And this one was a little bit more time consuming because obviously each one of these little things, as you can tell, are individually placed there. But so worth it. So worth it. And when you get a good row and stuff, you actually can just like do something like this where you copy, you can duplicate, and you can move and do it all over again. And I could do like 13 times that way if I wanted to. I also took the time to make an answer sheet just in case anyone else was grading. Plus, when my kids are just learning their multiplication, I allowed them to use the answer sheet so that they could help themselves memorize the facts. There's a place to put the time bubble and a score. Since then, I have laminated these sheets, so my kids just use expo markers, which is where this second sheet came in that I just made the other day, where now my kids can put the date, the number they got correct, the time it was taken, and allow themselves to make a goal for themselves. Also, since one of my children is a kindergartner now, these dots give you the ability to put your finger on it, sound out the letter, add the next one, and then blend it together. I actually do need to make more of these because I am in the throes of reteaching a child to read. So anything that I can do to help them really get down their phonics sounds and learn how to blend them together is a win. And that comes to this worksheet. So I will be fixing this worksheet as well today because I would like to work on just a simple worksheet to where my child kind of gets the idea of putting each finger on each letter to kind of start sounding them out. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that in just a second. So with clip art and things like that, they do have things that are like Creative Commons use on Canva. And so when I do that, see, I can make dots and I can really make it just look the way that I want it to for however my child needs it. This one I don't think I'm going to do as many dots on, or at least I'm not going to do one like that. I definitely want to get a smaller dot in there. Let's see. That's not what I want. By the way, anything with a crown on Canva is going to mean that you have to pay for it. I personally try to keep my homeschool as cheap as possible, so I will not be doing that. However, I can also come here to shapes and make a little dot underneath each one, just like that, where my child can put their finger and sound out each one. Now, the only thing I have is a monochrome printer, so I make all of my worksheets black and white. So it's very easy to print, and I don't have to worry about any colors not coming through or being too light or anything else like that. So I'm just going to do mine with black and gray and work on this. Now, you don't have to do these dot worksheets. You could do whatever you wanted. But for me, having the dots helps my child for right now learn how to sound out the different letters. And again, this is just how easy this worksheet is. Like, you guys just saw me resize a dot. And I'll actually show you what I did with the rest of this. It was super easy, and I'll make another one from scratch. You can see how I have this little assisting tool where it's showing me how to do it if I want to make a very precise line and get all of this. So for this, I want to make more of a bar because, as you know, when you do which I guess I should have done it with that. And this is how easy it is to really just make all of your worksheets where you don't have to go buy so much. In homeschool, it can be very easy to overwhelm yourself with costs because you see so many different people using this curriculum or using that curriculum. But I have had to sit with the Lord and pray about what I could buy and what season to stay in budget. And it is amazing how creative the Lord will help you to be to do exactly what He's called you to do. And I'm not saying you don't ever need to buy curriculum. What I'm saying is that not all the time do you have to buy a fancy curriculum for every supplemental thing that you want to do. So sometimes you can create little worksheets that you can use. Like I said, this multiplication worksheet and this multiplication chart has actually gotten my kids excited about charting how well they do on this. They time themselves, they see how much they get right, then they write it for my next goal. And I watched my kids tell me that, oh wow, I made it under the goal. That's where I wanted to. So it is absolutely wonderful how much you can get done. So one of the other things that I wanted for my homeschool was a speed reader. So I put just a bunch of random words that I think that they should know, number correct, time taken, and the same thing here. And I wanted things that were God focused. So as you can see, I made my own little story, the number of correct words, and the time it took. And so, like, as you can see, God made me. I'm so special. God gives us special talents to use for his glory. And when we use our talents for God, we get to share the gifts God gives us to help us and encourage other people. Reading the Bible is one of the best ways to learn how to use your gifts for God in a way that is pleasing in his sight. When we use our gifts correctly, it helps us to have joy and peace in our life, knowing that we are serving our King. I hope this makes you want to use your gifts for Jesus too. And this was just a very quick paragraph that I had taken the time to write. And if my kids, now we haven't used this worksheet as much, but I have a feeling I'm going to make another worksheet, kind of like my multiplication worksheet, so they can also take the time, just like this one, to put in the date, the number correct, the time taken, and my next goal, which actually I could do that right now if I wanted to. All I would have to do is hit duplicate the page. And I can put speed reading practice chart. And instead of this one, I can come in here and I could put the race car frames to match my speed reader. And I could change the chart just like that. So as you can see how easy this is to really customize charts for your kids, so that I could take the speed reader, I could make it to where they get everything, kind of go through all the different things, and I could change this list to things that they're struggling in. Maybe you take your spelling words and fill in the list, and you just use it to fit your particular homeschool. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to make your own worksheet. So go to custom size. Do not go to the document. If you go to this, I'll show you, you will have to start typing, but you kind of don't have that freedom to move things around like you might want to. So you have to like move it within, see how you can't like really move it? So don't go to that. Go to a new tab and hit custom size 8.5 to 11 in inches, and then hit create design. Then you can start this. So say I want to make I want to make a, Lord, I need a good idea. Say I want to make a puzzle, a cutout puzzle. So I can put cut out the scripture. Okay, so you can do things like, all right, I want to put a square here that they're going to be able to cut out. So let's see. So that we can match and maybe make a scripture matching game for any of you guys who are super crafty and you like just doing this kind of stuff with your kids. Some people do. Some people find it a nuisance in homeschool. It honestly, on this, if it helps your children to learn and retain what they're learning, go for it. So for me, I think I'm going to make, I don't know, let's see. So this is so they could match up, cut out everything and match up their own scripture. Maybe you guys are like us and you want them to learn different scriptures and how to recall. So let's start with I'm just going to go off the top of my head. Let's start with, for God so loved the world. And you're like, okay. And then on this one, and you can make it as easy and kind of however you would like to make it. And then you're just going to put another text box. And sometimes I just move my text boxes and I would put John 3:16. Let's see if this will work. And then let's do another one. So let's do one here. I think that's the end of that verse. Blessed is the man who walks not in the way of sinners, nor sits at the seat of scoffers. Let's see. We'll just duplicate this, and we'll put Psalms 1, 1. And then you could do a couple more scriptures. All right, and then put Philippians 4:13. And so you could make a scripture cutout just like this and put a couple more scriptures, and you could write the verse and write the verse location and have them match it up. This would be one way that you could do this. You could do this with anything. Like I said, I have done it with the parts of speech. I have done it with multiplication charts, reading charts, really anything that you want to do. You could have so many different varieties of things. You can have them write books. You can have them do a matchup game. You could turn this same thing and say, you know what? I don't really want them to cut anything out. Let's see if I can delete this. And you can say, just for the sake of this, you just hit group. By the way, if you ever group something, it's just so it's keeping it together. So you could have like this. And you're going to say, I'm going to group that. So now every time you move it, it groups together. And you can just say, I want to get all this stuff grouped together. So now when I move it, it moves together. And you could say, you know what? I'm not really wanting my kids to cut out anything. So I'm going to move this around and make this just a little bit bigger right here, where we put this on one side. And I'm just going to have my kids draw a line showing me that they understand where their scripture verse comes from, their memory verse, and just put it on this side, and they can draw it. And this is obviously me not doing as much as I could to make it super fancy. Okay? And you could have it to where they just draw a line so that whenever they were done, they could do something like, okay, this goes with this, and that's it. You could switch it around and really make it however you wanted to. For younger kids, when you are doing any kind of drawing or anything else like this, for them to write their name, I totally recommend just putting a line and one of these dotted lines and putting it like a 2 size. Just like this, dragging it the length, duplicating this right underneath, and then grouping it together. And then duplicating as many times as you need to. And then eventually this gets the mark and it's like, okay. And you could write on this side, like, okay, on this line, I want you to draw your name. I want you to say, when's your birthday? The month you were born. So if you wanted to, you could come over on this side and you could say your name. And you could really ramp up. And you could do another text box. Sorry. Like that. And you could duplicate it down here. And you could say your birthday. Your address, and you could leave 3 lines. Your favorite food. And this is just a really simple worksheet. I've made them more complex But I just want to give you guys an idea on how easy this is to customize things for your little kids. So, or even your older kids, like I did with the multiplication sheet or anything else. And your favorite activity. And you could come up here and duplicate this and say, and this can be as fancy as you want it to be. So see how like in just a couple of minutes, I've been able to make a cutout match it scripture, or you could put match the scripture, and you don't have to put the line, but whatever you would like to do, or you could say the About Me writing page. You can throw in some cute clip art. You could put a smiley. And again, if there's anything that has this little symbol, it just means that you technically have to, that is something that you have to purchase, or that you have to like upgrade your, and if you don't like that, if it's a little girl or something like that, you can put a flower. I like doing the flowers personally. Or you could do a cute little branch off to the side. You can make it as beautiful as you want. You can flip it horizontally or vertically. And just like that, you have an All About Me writing page. So as you can see, this is incredibly easy for you to do with your children, and anything that you would like to do that, and I mean, you can make it as cool and as decorative as you want. You can change the fonts. You can do whatever you want in order to get exactly the style of page. And you guys saw how I just did this in real time. And so, and again, the Lord can open up so many things for you to be able to do this, so that you're able to make it as wonderful and as exciting as you want. You know, some people don't like doing this. They like going with just the tried and true curriculum, and that is perfectly fine. It's really whatever you want. Personally, when I need to supplement, or there's something that I want my kids to learn, I will just quickly throw together whatever I need in that moment in order for them to have what they need without me having to go buy a supplemental curriculum. Teachers Paid Teacher is an awesome resource for things that are bigger packets. But if it's something as just throwing together a really cute worksheet for handwriting practice or whatever you want to do, it is as simple as what I just showed you. And then all you do is you hit share, download. I suggest doing PDF and then downloading it. And I would say, and then that's it. So as you can see, that's all you have to do in order to make a very, very cute cutout page. You can laminate this, have them write in expo markers for practice. You can do the same thing here. You could laminate this and have them practice until they memorize which one goes with which. And obviously I would change out the scriptures, but just for time's sake, I went ahead and duplicated John 3:16 twice. But really, you can have as much fun as you want with this. You can use it for anything. You can do nature notebooking. You can do whatever you would like to do. So I hope this encourages you, that you guys have way more creative ability than what you think. I'm going to flip you around and I'm going to say goodbye before I finish this out. So I'll see you in just a few minutes. Well, I hope you guys got a lot out of this video. I hope that you learned how to make these worksheets and how cheap and how quick and how easy they can be. And don't fret if you don't get the hang of it right away. Play around with it a little bit. You know, you're ask the Lord to help you. I know for me, God has definitely helped me improve and just blessed me to be able to make these a lot easier. And honestly, He's amazing. So again, be prayerful, ask the Lord for help, and He will. All right. God bless and have a great day.